Hello everyone, welcome to a brand new series on the channel, Resonance of Fate. Now, I'm just going to pause for the cutscene, but I will get back to you once it's over.
I'm still alive.
Huh? What'd you say?
I'm really alive.
Not for long, you aren't.
I don't know how, but I'm alive.
How can you smile?
You're smiling?
Me? This is it.
Huh?
Don't look away.
But I don't look away. Which way?
Down.
You going out?
Get ready to head out. You too, Zephyr.
So we've just entered the prologue chapter, and like what an amazing cutscene that was. Doesn't give an awful lot, but I mean, this game and its gameplay are just amazing. So we have our three main leads, Vacheron, Zephyr, and Leanne. Zephyr basically saved Leanne from jumping off a massive clock tower. and Leanne seems confused that she's still alive. And I mean, I don't quite know how they survived that fall, but look at anime magic, I guess. But basically, when it comes to leveling up in this game, the characters have 3 different types of weapons: handguns, grenades, and machine guns. And you'll see that they're all level 3, but that's actually because it's the combined numbers of their handgun level, their machine gun level, and their grenade level. So every character can actually make it to level 300, because each of the weapon types can get up to level 100. And basically, we have to just go to the guild and collect our first mission, and this is all, like, the bare basics of, like, learning about how to move around the game map and, you know, accepting quests and things like that. But this will be another 100% achievement guide. We're going with our kind of Final Fantasy X and 10-2, you know, let's play here. I'm going to try and get every achievement. And basically, the only trick with this game is quests. Because once you complete a chapter, all of the quests relating to that chapter vanish. You, like, can't repeat them. So it's just to always double check a list or, like, follow along in the video. And just make sure you're double checking if any new quests become available in the interim. And how you do that is you go to the guild, which is just over here. And, yeah, but again, once we get to, like, the combat is so fun. It's all about, like, positioning and, like, crisscrossing with your characters. And then making these really, like, cinematic, like, attacks and jumps and flips and shoots and bombs. Like, it's all just... The combat is one of the most fun... Like, fun to play, simple to understand, difficult to master. I think it's, like, one of them, like, triquatras of, like, super fun...
Hello.
Deep in ways, but, like, simple to just pick up and play, you know? And one of the reasons that this game can be totally confusing is that people just don't do the tutorials, because it is a completely unique combat system. But I will be doing my best to, like, explain in my own way, and to be honest, I actually did, like, 20 minutes of just going to the little arena and just refreshing my memory. This game was, like, one of those gold dust video games in that I had heard of it, I'd, like, watched games on YouTube, but for the life of me, I could not find this game anywhere. Like, this was kind of before the era of, like, buying off Amazon or something. Like, I was just always looking in game shops, and I finally found it one day, like, bought it, played it on the PlayStation 3, platinumed the whole game. Like, I absolutely loved it. And in just that really, like, juvenile light bulb moment, I was just sitting at my computer one day and just remembering that game, and then just thinking, wait, is it on Steam? Can I just get it on Steam? And I got it, and I was like, right, I'm playing it now, that's it, and I'm just gonna make a new series. So I do apologize, but I am really trying my hardest now. Like, my life's kind of cleared up a little bit schedule wise, so I'm really hoping to kind of get videos out to you guys much more regularly, and just sort of have, like, a different kind of episode every day of the week, because I know I've kind of started multiple different series, but I am hoping to get that all sorted for you. But basically, seeing the quest in the board, just getting back to the game, sorry, but when you see the quest, you then have to kind of go to the person that requested the request, typically, and then they give you the quest, and then you try and complete it and go back to them. Sometimes you have to go back to them, other times you will just be rewarded when you reach the criteria, like it might be defeat a certain enemy, and then once you do, you get the reward. But other times you do have to actually return to them, speak to them, and then you get the little quest complete annotation. But basically, this guy's like, oh, you need to, like, go on the world map and, like, fix the area to, like, progress around the world map. And the world map itself is so minimalist, yet so clever. I love it. We'll see it now in a second. But yeah, once you have accepted the quest, then the person you need to go back to, or, like, to ask more about the quest, kind of gets these little, like, coloured exclamation points. And basically, this lady, her exclamation point came up as, like, grey, because it's like she has a quest, but we haven't accepted it. And basically, for all the trophies, we have to get all of the quests done, obviously, so we are not going to just not accept a request. But before we go anywhere, we're just going to skedaddle up, not that way, we're going to skedaddle up to the item shop. So if you just go up here, oh, and you can find like collectibles as well. That's super cool. The little glittery things you can like just get. You can just get stuff, which is super awesome. And if you go up the top area here, you can go to Razzle Street, and then in here is where you can buy gadgets and gizmos to better bolster your guns. So there's basically one guy on one side. He's like a scrapper, so you can like give him items that you collect and he will turn them into like customizable material. And then you've like the customizer, so you can see there it'll give you certain amounts of things to scrap, like grenades, scrap different bits and pieces. And then you go to the tinkerer and he can make like these custom attachments and like the whole trick here with this gang is that they have kind of three main stats. They have their HP, well really two. They have their HP and they have their weight. So the more you customize your gun, you'll see there it like gives like +2 to certain stats, +1 there, but it adds 4 weight, 7 weight, these different kinds of things. And you can make these guns redonkulously stacked. But obviously if the gun is then too heavy for the character to use, they won't be able to use the gun. So it's like a mixture of that. Plus the fact the characters can also dual wield, which is also very interesting. And so I just bought like some basic customizables. So we're gonna give Zephyr, Leanne, and then we're going to give this little site here. And like the stats I'll get back into in a second, but like basically there's stuff that gives you more magazines, which means every time you attack you do more hits because you're basically unloading the entire barrel. There's other items you can use that make the initial spin quicker, or it makes the subsequent spins quicker. Like it's kind of complicated, but you'll understand it in once we get to the like combat. Basically I'll explain it better when it's like visually there. But here is the guy looking for us to like defeat these like stray dogs that are like rummaging outside. And one last collectible before we go. So like, for example, glass shards are like things that help us craft like sights and things like that. So, you know, it all makes sense when we get to the crafting game. But that's for much later when we have much more money. But here we have the map, and basically you need to like color in. You get these different shapes, as you can see on the left. You get all these different shapes of hexes, and in order to progress you have to have a hex down to like cover up those like light grey hexes. And as you move around in the world map you get random encounters. And so here we have Vacheron, and you'll see a circle around an enemy, and I've pressed square to enter this kind of line mode. And once you enter this line mode you can make multiple attacks with the gun, and once you take down an enemy you regain one of those little 3 bars at the bottom. And basically what those bars are, they are what allow your characters to enter that run mode. And you'll see that now the line is blue. If you crisscross with your characters they will gain resonance, and that's for a really, really powerful move later on. And the difference between the two different types of guns, you'll notice, oh my god, the machine gun's doing so much damage, but they're not actually taking anybody out. Basically, machine guns do more damage but don't kill the enemy, whereas handguns do less damage but they convert the damage a machine gun did to real damage. And so between that, we've now taken out all the different enemies. And it's so fun because you're basically lining up, okay, where are your characters, where can they be that they can crisscross again? What sort of weapons do they have? Do they have, like, where's our machine gun guy? Because we need him to do, like, loads of damage and then help take out the other people and things like that. And so I just was doing a little bit of grinding, skipping the combat. But here is the super fun place. It is an arena, and like from Kingdom Hearts, from different things, it's like I love a good, you know, Coliseum-esque Battle Royale rumble. And just to help me like get back to my kind of understanding of the game. I just refreshed my knowledge with some tutorials. And we just might as well buy some soft serve ice cream. Like, why the heck not, you know?
What's up?
It acts as like a healing item. You can put it in your first aid kit, and they're relatively cheap. Cheap and cheerful. And so this guy is the trainer, and he gives you all different types of tutorials. Now, I skipped an awful lot of them, but here we have using items in combat, like our soft serve, like our first aid, like our perfect aid. So you can either equip a grenade box or a first aid box, and there are the two there. And I could have, you know, used a grenade or used the healy thing, but basically you just go with a certain button, and then it'll let you enter your box and let you use different items. And the game just gives you 99 or 999 bits and pieces. And so, yeah. And you obviously, if you have the other party members there as well, you could like chuck those items to them as well to heal them. But that was just basically explaining that. And then by the end of it, I had all of the tutorials done. And the last one here is a smackdown. So this is all different things you can do while in hero mode. So basically, if you attack them from below, you can like knock them into the air, and once they're in the air, if you jump above them in hero mode, it will slam them into the ground and doing more damage. So as you can see, it's now up in the air now, and you can like juggle it in the air, and then once you jump above it, you can then like fire down, and it'll slam into the ground. And if you just do it a second time, you can like repeat juggle them or slam them into the ground. You can repeat juggle them if you keep them in the air. You can repeat slam them if you jump above them and slam them into the ground. And they all have these different positive benefits, obviously. And the rest I can show you in combat, but there's like, you know, there's times you can hide behind bunkers, there's times you can make all three characters attack at once. And that's from like gathering different resonance. It's where they cross paths, and then if you get them in a big triangle, they can basically do loops of that triangle and do lots of killing and lots of multi-attacks and just do really just super cool cinematic battles. So like, as much as I might be cutting certain battles out, I want to kind of leave unique battles, like certain dungeons. I'll just leave all the battles in, just so you can see the different strategies and stuff. And what's really cool is as you like level, so when you get like levels for your characters, basically when you inflict scratch damage with a machine gun, it gains machine gun experience. When you deal damage with a grenade or a handgun, that also turns into experience. And like, this is kind of an exploration of the world. You need obviously certain shaped hexes to like be able to fit, and then you'll see there this one's red. You basically need now a red colored tile to like venture into there. But it's like a little bit like Tetris. You have to like get the shape in a certain way to make it all, you know, fit and not overlap or not hit into the you know, map or anything. And then as you explore and get more of the hexes colored, you get little unlockables, which is super, super cool. And so as you can see there, those three little areas that we have missing, like we need a certain shaped one. Like there's nothing we can do with this shape to now fill in those little blanks. And as you can imagine, there is an achievement for completely getting every single hex activated in the game. That means collecting every single sort of color to get all these different colored blocked off areas, every different kind of shape. As you can see up there is like a little black hex, so like that's going to probably be like super duper interesting.
Won't take much to beat these into submission.
Now, one of the tutorials I skipped was the fact that in the battles you can have people that are marked as leaders, and if you take out the leaders, it will just instantly end the battle. And what you'll notice as well in terms of the charging is that the farther away you get from an enemy, the slower the gun charges. And now we're kind of switching characters and we're making sure we're crossing lines and trying to make sure that we get like super close to the enemies so our gun charges relatively quickly. But yeah, it's just hopping, trotting, super cinematic. It's super, super cool. And then if we had a big triangle like this, I could have done like a hero attack, but I just wasn't bothered. And yeah, as you're seeing, like, if you look at Zephyr, the little blue bar that's filling up as he shoots and does damage, that's basically how we're gaining experience. We're all level 1 in our respective weapons. And then, as you can see, we didn't need to defeat the other enemy because we defeated the 2 leaders that were there. But obviously, if you keep just defeating leaders, you're not getting as much experience as you could from battles because you're not dealing damage to all the enemies you can. But yeah, here is a little example of a attack mission. So this was a mission we had to do to fight these stray curs. I probably should change their order just so the machine gun guy is in the middle. It tends to work out better. But yeah, we're doing so much damage. Our level's getting super high now. And then with one last shoot, we've now 2 enemies super high in their scratch damage, and it'll just take Leanne 1 hit on both of these, and then they're taken out. And with that, Leanne has been the first to level up. So she got her handgun to level 2, she's doing handgun damage, and if she does 240 more damage with her handgun, she will level it up again. And here we have Vacheron again running in here now to like get the gang back in a straight line. But I think the battle's going to be over now. And so there we got an achievement.
Were they too weak or
We got our first mission done, and we have a dot scythe accessory. So there's an example of where we don't need to go back to the guy to collect our reward. Once you see mission complete, here's your reward, then you know the mission is done. But we had to give a guy back his knives, and he was going to be found at the core 1. So we've given him back his knives. He's clearly a chef, and so he forgot them. We managed to give them to him before he got there, and then because we gave it to him, once you see mission complete and you can see the rewards, you know the mission is done. So that's brilliant. And we got another first aid. So we have loads of perfect aids, first aid. Like, again, it's the tutorial level. But like, many people would just start this game and not understand how the combat works, not understand how any of it works, and it really is so unlike any sort of shooter RPG game. Like, it really is wild. But you can always check the mission memo and it'll tell you if they're, you know, needing to be reported back to. So the guy that we got our first mission from, it's like he just wanted us to fix the bridge. We fixed the bridge, but he wants us to come back and say, hey, we fixed the bridge, give us a reward, you know? So just to keep track and a handle on that. But what's also super cool is that obviously you're upgrading your different guns and everything. You can dual wield guns, so you can dual wield pistols, dual wield machine guns. That's super cool. But as well as that, you need to like swap the characters around to use different weapons as they go. So like, you know, yes, Zephyr starts with the machine gun, but like also Vacheron should use the machine gun and Leanne should use the machine gun. But what's also tricky is that if you don't level them up similarly, like they'll just be so much weaker with those weapons when they start back out. So it is kind of about finding a balance of leveling them all up in a balanced way, so that they're all equally as good with all their different weapons, which is super important. And here's the tricky thing, because obviously you would be like, oh, well, we've completed all the missions, and unless you go back and check that bulletin board again, it will not tell you if there's more missions available. And so I could have just been like, oh, I got the 3 missions from the tutorial level, all of them are completed, that's brilliant, let's finish the chapter. And because I didn't go back and check again for another mission to maybe become available, I would have just missed out on that reward, missed out on that mission, missed out on that achievement basically. So it is really important that you check back after nearly every mission that you've completed and just make sure, okay, are we okay to move on, you know? And again, here we have, again, a leader, and we're just going to rush him just to take him out, and then we'll take out the leader, all the other enemies will run away basically.
That wasn't much harder than target practice.
So if you want to get by quick, you can just skedaddle through that. But we're going to go to Cafe Chesley. And another cutscene plays.
This is an easy one. Just don't let it get damaged and you'll be fine.
Done. To tell the truth, I'm more worried about you. Mind the wrist. If anything happened to you, where would that leave us? God only gave you one body. Take care of it.
I'll try to remember that. Control of resources. Longevity. What else does Zenith's providence hold for us?
Okay, very mysterious child drinking wine there. Quite unusual, quite strange. But yeah, we have a case, and we gotta deliver it to the guy that has requested it. So really quite interesting. But here we have Zephyr leveling up, getting more carry weight, getting more damage in, more damage done, and then you'll see here, now that he's level 2, he can now stack his bullet thing, can now charge twice, which lets him do more damage. And we'll see that now with Vacheron, he's only able to ever charge once, but once he does the damage here, he will be able to charge twice on his next attack. So there we go, he can now charge twice. And with charging twice, you do more damage, you're more likely to basically a thing called gauge breaking, so you can like shatter an opponent's HP bar into smaller segments, and then if you do that loads, anytime you drop the HP below a shattered segment, you then regain a hero point as well. It's like there's a whole messy thing. Again, easy to understand, but then the more you delve into it, the more complex it gets, you know? But I can't lie, what I really love about this game is that you can dress them up. The characters can be dressed up, they can get new clothes, new hairstyles, new everything. Oh, it is so fantastic. I just love it. Love it, love it, love it. So I look forward to that when we get there. But up here in like the upper echelons, we can not explore everywhere. We need to kind of put little hexes down. But we've unlocked that little hex, and we've now found an item, the broken watch. How unusual, what could that be? And then like that, we need different shaped hexes, different colored hexes, to be able to, you know, place down those little grey squares and get to other levels, like elevators down to level 2 and things like that. So it's where the game gets to like lock us down a little bit. But the maid we're looking for from the mission is in Therese's manor. And then she says, I'm after losing an irreplaceable watch the other day. I'm hoping you'd be able to find it. It was around Cardinal Jean Paulet's manor. And luckily we have it, so we could just literally give her back the broken watch. And like that, mission complete, you know? Absolutely brilliant. We get 1,000 money, 3 reputation points for our like little mercenary guild. Or like bounty hunter guild. Not really sure what you call us really. Bounty hunters, I suppose, you know? But yeah, and then here's where, you know, time of day matters. Because we arrive here and it's like, okay, we're here to like, you know, drop off the thing. But the guard's in the way and he's saying the cardinal is out at the moment. come back at night when the bell tolls and he'll be available to see you. And how do you make time pass? It's literally as simple as moving from hex to hex. Like moving in the map causes time to pass. And if you just go in little loops, especially up here where like, you know, there's no random encounters, you hear the bell and we can go into Creator's Mansion then. Which I don't mind, like, it makes sense, you know, certain enemies might only come out at nighttime, certain enemies might only out in the daytime, certain people might only be available, like shops and that, they'll only be available during the daytime because they're open at that time, whatever. So, I think it's grand. But I will stop talking for another cutscene.
So beautiful. This crystal, is it really my own?
Oh, I think,
Hold it up to the light. Look at that. Oh, what's happening? What's going on? Look. It's mine!
so what do you think? Is that proof enough for you?
Oh, the proof I could ever need. Here's a little something for my angel. Dreams really do come true.
Another job done.
So, we got an absolute fat stack of cash for a piece of blue crystal that glows. And he was kind of inquiring as to, like, is it mine? Is it my crystal? And you're like, what the heck is this? So we're going to get that in a little explanatory cutscene. But basically, everyone in this world has crystals. And if somebody finds the crystal that belongs to them, they will live a long and happy life.
Pretty jewel, but is it worth getting that excited over?
Haven't heard the stories? Every man, woman, and child in this world has their own stone. Find it and live a long, happy life. Or so they say.
Is that right? Oh, what a charming story.
Your very own star from the heavens.
Your very own star.
It's like just the absolute symbolism there of you're looking up at the actual stars and then
Stars
just
don't come cheap, though.
a big
It
star
takes plenty of
symbol
cold, hard
for
cash
like
to make dreams like that come true.
reality versus the constructed reality they live in. Oh, the
Is it
symbolism.
really a dream if you can just buy it?
Maybe it is, maybe it isn't.
And like what is super cool is that like you can dress them up, so if you dress them up differently, they obviously appear different in cutscenes. Sorry, I'm just obsessed with their clothes. I love it. So we've gotten everything, but I think that's really going to be it for today. We're just going to double check. We'll just double check if there's any more quests at the board. But other than that, like that's going to be the first episode. We've kind of completed the prologue chapter. So I hope you guys enjoy this series. I hope you guys look forward to more, because there definitely will be more. But again, I'm just literally so delighted that I could kind of just sit down and re-experience this game, because honestly, the combat system, the level up system, the cinematic, combat, the story's a little hit and miss. Like, it takes a while to kind of get going, and it is a bit out there and all over the place, but the combat totally makes up for all of it, and the gameplay totally makes up for all of it. So yeah, you just check back at the board. If the board doesn't say, oh, there's more missions, then odds are you're fairly safe and certain. But I double checked a guide just in case. These are all the missions you can take part in. But if you're ever nervous and you want to just double check a guide before moving on, when you basically head to here, like the sweet home, back to your base, it'll basically say, do you want to advance the story to the next chapter? And you can just say no, and then you just can advance it manually yourself, just when if you want to double check things or level up things or things like that. You can go to the chalkboard and just fix it up, you know. And what's nice is that they even have like the training dummies and stuff in its enemies that you've encountered, which is super, super cool. But that's going to be it for today, guys. I hope you guys enjoy, and I look forward to seeing you guys for episode 2 of Resonance of Fate. Thanks so much.